In this episode, we're going to talk to James about making business podcasts successful. James, welcome back to the show.
I'm stoked to be back.
Back to the show. I just have one question for you, and it's very important. And a lot of people, I'm sure, as they're watching this, are wondering the same thing. How do you make a business podcast successful? Because I've seen a lot of people go out there, they've tried the podcast, they either quit a few episodes or they don't get a lot of traction, they don't get a lot of downloads, they don't get a lot of listeners. But you've got a formula that you follow to make your podcast successful for yourself and for the brands that you work for. What is that process?
Yeah, so a huge element of making your show successful from a content perspective is really around the pre-interview that you do with each of your guests. So for us, for our example, our ideal buyer is a CMO or a VP of marketing. So those are the people we're bringing onto the show. And before we ever hit record, we've asked that guest what they want to talk about. What's a topic, what's an experiment you've run lately, or what's a topic that's top of mind for you right now? Maybe they say sales and marketing alignment. I then dig a little bit deeper into that. This is all via email before we've ever gotten on Skype to record the interview. And I say, okay, around sales and marketing alignment, let's dive a little bit deeper. What would be, 3 to 5 specific things that you would want our audience to walk away with after hearing you talk about sales and marketing alignment? So they're really coming up with the outline for me. And so they give me those 3 to 5 points. And then whenever we get on Skype, we do the pre-interview, and I'm basically just walking through those 3 to 5 points with them. Hey, talk to me a little bit about this just so I can kind of be informed, so I can help drill deeper. And then once we hit record, the outline's done. They know exactly what they're going to say. I kind of have an idea of how I want to drill deeper into each one of these topics. And then I just eliminate the fluff. I think so many podcasts, and some people like it, but I found that our audience really appreciates that we get right into the meat of the episode, and there's no fluff and, oh, how are your kids and what'd you do last weekend? Like I said, some people like that. Our audience doesn't. So we get right into it. And because we've got that outline right in front of me, it makes it really easy to go straight from, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, and then we close it out. So I think that keeps our content super tight, and it keeps our listeners coming back to want to hear more. And
obviously they are. So now you've got your secret formula. Probably a lot more work involved, I'm guessing, but at least you have the framework for how to make it successful. Because certainly we're just launching our first podcast for another company, another brand that we're doing. We're not in the business of it. You should really go to them for podcasts. But we are launching it. It's good to hear how you go through that planning, because I know, just jamming things into 10, 12 minutes is a difficult proposition.
It's tough.
All right, so that does it for us in this episode. Make sure you watch the other episodes that James and I are in. Very interesting stuff on business podcasts. Also, subscribe, like. In the comments, I'm going to link over to his video as well if you want to check out some of the things that you're doing on video. I also put his podcast link in the description as well. So thanks again, James, for showing up on the show.
Thank you, Mark.